Hey YouTube, it's your girl, The Real Teddy Talks, and today we're going to talk atomic habits. In the previous videos, I discussed 5 ways to enact your 365-day exit strategy. The first was to create more time. The second was to get organized. The third is today's video, and that's to create some atomic habits. The fourth, and actually most important, but not the most urgent, is to prioritize your stress management. And the fifth is to put a plan of action in place. In today's discussion about atomic habits, I'm going to glean some information out of James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. Great book, you should read it. And we're going to talk about how creating some great habits are going to make you more efficient, more productive, and get you to your goals faster and with less stress. So what are habits? Habits are nothing more than automated behaviors. Things you do, whether you like them or not. When you walk into a room, you turn the light on. That's a habit. When some people are nervous, they bite their nails. When some people are stressed out, they smoke or they drink. All of those things are a trigger response to an outside stimuli. It's things you do to cope with your surroundings. In order for me to survive this 365-day exit strategy, from my main gig to my side hustles full time, I'm going to need to create some atomic habits. The most important thing I gleaned from the Atomic Habits book by James Clear was that behaviors that have satisfying consequences are repeated and then they become automatic. Ding, 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 ding. So all I need to do is create a satisfying consequence to something, and then I can enact it and turn it into a habit. Easier said than done, right? In the book, he talks about the way habits are formed. And they're formed from 4 things. You have your cue or a trigger. Then you have your craving for a change of state. Then you have your response to that cue and then that craving. And fourth and final, you have your reward. So let's give an example, like we're a little kid. So you have your cue or trigger. That's the bell that it's time to go outside for recess. The second thing is you have your craving for your change in state. So they hear the bell and the kid immediately starts wiggling in their seat and getting antsy because they crave to go outside, release energy, and be free from the chains of that classroom. The third thing is the response. Once they're allowed and given permission, they jump out of their seats and they run full speed out to that playground. And once they feel that fresh air on their face, they feel free. And the reward. For 20 or 30 minutes, they get to play like they've been in prison for 5 years and live their very best life outside on that playground. Let's use an adult example. So for an adult, you sleep through the night and then your alarm goes off. So your cue is the alarm going on. The second thing you're going to feel is your craving for a change of state. You wake up and you want to feel more awake. You don't want to feel as tired. So your response, the third thing you do is you get up and you immediately either go take a shower or you go get a cup of coffee. Whatever your thing is that makes you feel more awake. And the reward is you feel better. You feel more awake because you took a shower. You feel more awake because you got your shot of caffeine in the morning. Then you feel like you can go about your day. So how do you create better habits? The easiest way to create better habits is to start habitually doing, like fixing my bed. I fix my bed every morning. I wake up, assuming my husband is out of the bed as well. I wake up, I fluff my pillows, I pull back the sheet, I pull up the comforter, I spread it out all nice and neat, I fluff those pillows, I lay them and I put them on the bed, and I spread it all out at the end, and I look at my work and I'm proud of myself. I feel like I accomplished something. But the most important part of that task, that takes me like 3 minutes, maybe 5, is I'm completely zoned out actually the whole time. I'm thinking about my day, I'm thinking about my tasks, I'm thinking about what I have to immediately do, what my kids are doing, what do I need to do for them, what do I need to do when the nanny comes, all of those things. And it gives me that time to just decompress, clear my mind for those 3 to 5 minutes, and just be zoned out doing something that produces a beautiful result. That's how I formed the habit of making my bed every day. If you want to change your habits, you have to change your cues. And to change your cue, you have to be deliberate about the setup. If you want to start going to the gym when you first wake up in the morning, you need to have your gym clothes out and your shoes literally right next to the bed. You need to set yourself up for success. You step out of that bed, all you have to do is put your stuff on that's set out right next to you, go brush your teeth, and go. You also need to be very deliberate of how you're going to implement this new plan. If you're like me and you want to plan your exit strategy from your job, and it's hard to find some quiet time or some extra time in your house, and I'm going to leave for work 20 minutes early. And what do you do when you arrive at work 20 minutes early? You're going to sit in the car and you're going to start to write down your plan of action. You're going to start writing down your ideas. You're going to start writing down what it's going to take for you to leave your current situation. And every day you're going to get to work 20 minutes early, and you're going to do that. And if that means you have to wake up 30 minutes early, then do so. If that means you need to make other arrangements in the morning, then do so. You could also take the advice from my earlier video, and that's create extra hours in your day. So you can wake up earlier. You can go to bed later. You can start to maximize the time you already have, or you can start putting yourself first. That will help you create some atomic habits because you're giving yourself the space that you need to implement these things. Because if you're taking care of yourself, you need the extra time to start planning the thing it is you want to plan. Another thing we always do is, instead of waking up and reaching for your phone to see what notifications you missed or what's happening on Facebook or what's happening on Instagram, you need to set your phone outside of arm's reach. You need to set your phone out in another room. So when you wake up, you turn that alarm off, you get up, and then you do the thing that you really need to be doing, like planning or straightening or meditating or doing push-ups or doing sit-ups, whatever's going to get that blood flowing so that you can start thinking more clearly and start planning your exit strategy. The fourth thing that I got from the Atomic Habits book, make your habits something that you're looking forward to. It's called temptation bundling. So if you don't like doing something, I know people always use working out, and because I don't like, for instance, I don't like to run, but I do it often. And I had to do that by temptation bundling. So what you do is you take something you don't like and you bundle it with something you do like. You associate a reward with the thing you don't like, so then when you've completed it, you get the reward. And eventually, you only associate the thing you don't like doing with the reward at the end, and you actually find yourself looking forward to it because you get the reward. An example of that is you like scrolling through your phone. You do like catching up on social media. So you say, I can only scroll through social media while I'm walking outside in the morning for 15 minutes. So while you're walking, you can be looking at your phone. Or if you really love your Starbucks coffee and you want to waste that $6 a day, which I don't recommend, if you want to waste that money every day, then you say, if I spent 20 minutes working on my exit strategy, or if I spent 20 minutes this morning working on my goals, or if I spent 10 minutes this morning meditating, then I can reward myself with my coffee. But if you didn't do that, if you didn't make the time for that, then you don't get the reward. And the fifth and final takeaway that I got from creating Atomic Habits was to reduce the friction for good habits and increase the friction for bad habits. So that means I'll use waking up and going to the gym for an example. Instead of having everything all put away in your room, set your clothes out. That's reducing the friction. So when you wake up and your feet step foot on that floor, they immediately touch your shoes, and you have no choice but to put your socks and your shoes on, and your shirts right there, and your sports bras right there, ladies, and your spandex pants right there, and you can just put them all on, your Athleta leggings or whatever. You can put them on, you literally get up, go brush your teeth, and you leave the house. That's simple. And you increase the friction for bad habits. One thing we did in our house, we stopped buying stuff we don't need to eat. If we like cake. I mentioned that in an earlier video. We don't keep cake in the house. If we want cake, we have to go out and buy it, and we eat it there, and then we come home. No cake, no M&Ms, nothing sweet, no sugary stuff, no salty stuff, no potato chips, no pretzels, no bagels, nothing that I have told myself I want to not partake of. So if I don't want to do it, I do not bring it in my house. I've increased the friction on that thing so that even though I want it, I cannot have it. It's not there. And you can start small. Start with doing that thing, meditating. Meditating is hard for me. I really try to do it. I do it longer and more often sometimes than others, but it's something I really want to do. And I just started by doing it 2 minutes. Do it for 2 minutes. Try to meditate for 2 minutes. Do that every single day. And if it gets easier, do it longer. If it remains difficult, then keep doing it for 2 minutes. But the goal is, once you've done it for 2 minutes, if it's feeling good, you'll do it for 4 minutes, and you do it for 6 minutes. Just like getting on the treadmill. When I start running, those first 5 to 7 minutes, they suck. They suck ass. But Once you get in a rhythm and you get through those first 5 to 7 minutes, your stride is lengthened, your breathing has regulated, your body's loosened up, you feel good, and you just continue. So you have to start or you will never finish. And the final suggestion, which I'm not even going to number it because I don't like it, is to create like a habit tracker or a habit contract. So you start writing down your habits and you track if you check off your box if you did it or not. And if you're a list checker, a box checker, then maybe that's going to work for you. And then the other suggestion was to create a contract with someone that you feel beholden to, someone that you can trust, someone that you look up to, and you make a contract with them. But what I feel now that I'm in this new space and this new place in my life is I'm beholden to my damn self. I need to be responsible for my own actions. Because if I don't do what I say I'm going to do, if I don't fulfill this 365-day exit strategy, I'm going to suffer. My family's going to suffer. We're going to have to figure out what the hell we're going to do. So I don't need no tracker, and I don't need to make nobody no promises, because I'm going to do what I need to do, because there is no exit plan. There is no alternative strategy. There's no backup plan. I have to make it happen. So no need for all that. That works for some people, and if it works for you, by all means do it, but I don't need that. Because I have all of the self-motivation and perseverance and determination I need bottled up in this little body of mine. So that's all I have for you. I talked about how to create atomic habits, how to stick to them, and how to get over the hump of doing things you don't enjoy. Come back tomorrow and we'll talk about how to prioritize stress management. This is the Real Teddy Talks, signing off.
Listen.